So you've got a contracting business. You're out here doing real work. You're pouring concrete, remodeling kitchens, building decks, whatever your trade may be. But somehow every month, it still feels like you're chasing the next job, chasing the next referral, not knowing where your next project is coming from. And look, you're probably paying Home Advisor, Angie, Yelp, a couple $100 a month for leads that have already been shared with up to 10 other contractors, and they're given to the ones who give the lowest price. So look, when you do that, when you compete on price, it's a race to the bottom because you bleed your profit margins and you work with lower quality customers. Customers who are always price haggling and complaining about every detail. And that's just not something you want to deal with. And look, maybe you've got a website, maybe someone built it for you a few years back. It's got your logo, it's got your phone number. It looks decent, but if I asked you right now, how many leads did your website bring last month? I already know the answer. Zero or maybe one. And you're not even sure if that one came from the website. And here's the thing. I'm gonna be real with you because that's all I know how to be. Alright, my bad. Let me be serious. Look, alright, look. The reason your website isn't bringing in leads is because most contractor websites aren't built properly. It's not that websites don't work for contractors, it's that most of them are built to look good, not rank, not convert, and not work for you 24/7, especially when a homeowner on Google is searching for someone that does exactly what you do. And look, the homeowners who figured this out, they actually built the website the right way. They optimized it, they paired it with paid traffic. They wake up to inbound leads, not home advisor leads, not referrals. I'm talking about people who found them first, saw their videos, saw their work, trusted them before they even picked up the phone. And look, they're getting those leads for a fraction of what you're paying right now. I know this because I studied the highest ranking contractors in the market and I learned how they got here. So I broke down the exact structure they're all using. And the contractors who figure this out, who actually have a website that's optimized the right way, paired with the right traffic strategy, they wake up to inbound leads, not Home Advisor, not Angie share leads, not referrals. These are people who found them, saw their work, and trusted them before they even picked up the phone. I know this because I studied how the highest ranking contractors in the market got there. And I broke down the exact structure they're all using. Everything from the Google 3 pack. This is the place where 70% of all clicks on local search happen. And it isn't random. There's a formula behind ranking here. And today I'm going to explain that formula. But I'm going to warn you, we're going in deep today. This is a full breakdown. This is everything that most web designers and SEO agencies, they don't want you to know because if you knew it, you wouldn't need them the way they want you to need them. I'm going to walk you through the exact system we use. We call it the contractor growth system. 5 components that turn your website from a digital brochure that nobody sees into your highest performing lead source. We're going to cover why most contractor websites rank for nothing, how individual pages completely change your SEO game, how we set up multiple CTAs so that people who land on your site actually reach out, how we use AI voice assistants and live chats to make your business available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and how all of that, when it's stacked together, qualifies you to put 24/7 on your Google business profile, which by itself is a massive trust signal. But before we get into that system, I need to show you exactly what most contractors are doing or not doing. It's literally bleeding them dry, and most of them don't even realize it's happening. Let's get to it. So let me paint you a picture. And I want you to be honest with yourself here, because this is how I see it playing out for most contractors. You started your business on word of mouth. Somebody told somebody, and that somebody told someone else. And look, it worked for a while. Honestly, it went great. You didn't need a website, you didn't need marketing, you just needed to do the work and let it spread. And look, I'm not knocking you for that. Word of mouth is still powerful. It always will be. But the issue with it is that when you try to scale on word of mouth alone, the leads just aren't consistent enough. Some months are great, some months you're scrambling. You've got no control over the pipeline because you're completely dependent on other people to send you work. Your revenue is literally riding on someone else's memory. So what do most contractors do? They pay for leads on apps like Home Advisor, Angie, Thumbtack, Yelp. And look, I get it. I understand they tell you that they'll send you leads, and they do. But here's the problem. The problem is that they send the same leads to 5 to 10 other contractors, and the lowest bidding one gets a project. So look, there's some contractors who are paying for leads on those platforms, and they're not seeing really any success. And some contractors, they go the other route. They buy a website off someone, maybe for a couple of $1,000s. It looks good. They think they're done, but then their phone doesn't ring from the website. So they think that websites don't work for contractors. But here's the truth. Websites absolutely work for contractors. The wrong kind of website doesn't. And there's a very specific reason why. Most contractor websites are what I call a digital business card. It's got your name, your services listed, maybe one page, a phone number, and the problem with that, from Google's standpoint, is that Google doesn't know what to do about it. When someone types concrete contractor near me or kitchen remodeler near me, Google is trying to match that service with the most relevant, most authoritative page on the internet for that exact question. And when you got a single page that says we do concrete remodeling, painting, and decks all together, Google doesn't know whether to rank you for concrete, remodeling, painting, or decks. So it ranks you for none of them. That's why it's important to have individual service pages. Now let's go over exactly how this happens. Look, the contractor who's sitting in the top 3 spots in your city, it's not that they're so much better than you, it's that they have someone that understood the system and helped them out. They have a website that Google understands, and because Google understands it, Google sends them traffic. Every single day, free traffic from people who are ready to buy. And most contractors, they're leaving all of that on the table. Not because they can't have it, but because nobody ever sat down and showed them exactly how it works. That's what we're doing today, and that's where it gets interesting because this is the part that nobody talks about in the contractor space. So let me break this down. The contractor growth engine. This is the exact system we use to take a contractor's online presence from invisible to dominant. And I mean as dominant as it can be, showing up in the Google 3 pack, in the organic search results, and in the paid results, so that when someone in your city is searching for services for what you do, your name is at one of the top spots. That's what we're building. We're going through all of that right now. Step one, this is where everything starts. This is a non negotiable. Most contractor websites are failing them on a foundational level. It's not that they're ugly necessarily. Some of them actually look fine, but they're built wrong from the ground up. They're built for aesthetics, not for search engines. And you can't rank your pretty website that Google can't read. So here's what an SEO optimized foundation looks like. First, on the technical side, your website needs to load fast. I'm talking in under 2 seconds because Google measures page speed as a ranking factor, and because homeowners are searching on a phone, 70% of them are on a phone, they will leave your site within 3 seconds if it doesn't load. They're gone, they're clicking on the next result, and you just lost that opportunity. Second, your website needs to be mobile friendly first. Not also mobile friendly first. Designed from the ground up for the phone experience. Because again, most of your customers are finding you on their phones. If your site looks good on the desktop but clunky on the phone, you're losing. Third, the structure. This is a big one. Your website needs to have a homepage that clearly tells Google and your visitor 3 things in first 5 seconds. Who you are, what you do, where you do it. Not buried at the bottom, not in the paragraph somewhere nobody reads, in the headline above the fold. And look, this is where I see most contractor websites completely fall apart. Their homepage tries to say everything, so it says nothing. So your homepage needs to have what we call a proper schema markup. This is the code in the background of your site that tells Google exactly what kind of business you are, what services you offer, where your service area is, and how to contact you. Google uses this information to decide whether you belong in the local search results. Most Wix sites, most Squarespace sites, most cheap contractor websites, they don't have this, and if they do, it's wrong. And that alone can be the difference between ranking and not ranking. The last piece of the foundation is your Google business profile. It needs to be fully connected and fully optimized. So what this means is you need to upload photos, your hours, your services, detailed descriptions of your services, regular posts weekly, because your Google business profile and your website, they work together. Google looks at both to decide how much it trusts you. And the more consistent and complete your online presence is across your website, the more authority Google assigns you in your local area. So the foundation alone, when it's done right, starts moving the needle. But the foundation by itself is not enough to dominate. And that's the part they don't tell you. You need what comes next: individual service pages. This is the part that most contractors don't realize is super important. This is the biggest unlock. This single component, when we implement it for a client, changes everything. Here's the concept I told you: Google doesn't know what to rank you for on a single page website. So the solution is you give Google a dedicated service for each single offer. Not all of these in the same section on your homepage. I'm talking about a full page for each service. So let's say you're a concrete contractor and you do driveways, patios, walkways, foundations, and decorative concrete, the whole 9 yards. Instead of listing all of those five on one homepage, you build a separate page for each one: a driveway page, a patio page, a walkway page, a foundation page, and a decorative concrete page. And each of those pages is built to rank for a specific keyword. Concrete driveway installations, you can rank for words like stamped concrete patio, concrete walkway contractor. Each page is optimized for a completely different search inquiry. So instead of having one page competing for five different keywords, you have five pages each competing for one keyword. Another thing that nobody is telling you about, that is something that my clients pay for, it's not just about having those pages, it's about having those pages written correctly. Each service page needs to have a specific structure, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what it is because this is where the SEO actually happens. So, you need a keyword niche title tag. You need to have a keyword with your city and the service that you do. You need before and after photos on each page with the proper text and metadata, which is the description that you give to an image so Google can actually read what's on it. Most people leave this blank and Google can't read any of the photos on your website. That's free SEO being wasted every single time. You need a Google Maps embed on one of your service pages showing your business location because that's a local SEO signal. You also need internal links that go from your service pages back to your homepage and to your other service pages. That creates what Google sees as a web of authority. The more connected, the more structured your site is, the more trustworthy it looks to Google. Now here's the result when you have this in place. This is exactly how those service pages feed into your SEO. Let's say for this example, you have 8 service pages. You now have 8 different chances to show up for keywords on Google. 8 different chances. And look, we implemented this for a concrete contractor in San Jose, and within the first 3 months, they landed over $30,000 in booked projects. Those service pages were ranking on page 1 of the Google map. One page alone was driving 7 leads per month. So this is the typical authority stack that most contractors run. And it works because Google rewards depth. When Google sees a contractor website that has a homepage, a driveway page, a patio page, a walkway page, whatever service, Google says this business knows what it's talking about. It's got real content about real services and it starts moving you up. But here's what happens once the step 2 is dialed in. Step 3 becomes incredibly powerful because now you have paid traffic coming in. And if you don't have a system to convert that traffic, all of that ranking means nothing. Okay, so let's say you got that foundation set up. You got the service pages driving traffic. You got the ads running driving traffic. So now you need them to convert into actual leads. And this is the part where most contractor websites drop the ball again. The typical contractor website has one call to action. Just to call us, maybe a phone number in the header, and that's it. No form, no chat, no way to reach out if it's 9 p.m. on a Sunday, or if it's somebody sitting on the couch trying to get a quote. So here's the reality: different people want to contact you in different ways. Some people want to call, some people don't want to talk on the phone. I mean, think about it. Not everybody's a social person. Some people might want to fill out a form and get called back later. Some people want to fire off a quick message and see if you respond. And if your website only gives them one option, you're losing everybody who prefers the other options. The multi-call to action conversion layer means we put multiple conversion points throughout your website. Not at the bottom of the page where nobody scrolls. I'm talking about throughout the entire website. So here's the structure we use. First, we have a click to call button. We have a form so they can fill out a form. They can request the estimate. We also have an AI chat connected that's running 24/7. We have these scattered throughout the website so no matter at what stage of the page they're on, they can reach out. So when you layer all five of these on every page, your website stops becoming passive and it becomes like a full-time secretary without having to pay for an extra salary. Alright, this is the part where it gets crazy, and the reason I say this is because this technology right now in 2026 is still being very underused by local contractors, which means if you implement this, you have a massive competitive advantage. Here's the problem. A homeowner is searching for you at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. They find your website. Let's say they have a quick question like if you do commercial work or what a rough price range might be, but it's 9 p.m. You're not answering the phone, you're with your family, and if they don't get an answer, they move on to the next contractor. And that next contractor gets the job. That used to be how it was. You couldn't be available 24/7. You're a human being with a life. But now in 2026, there's no excuse for that lead to slip through because now we can install AI. We can integrate an AI voice assistant and an AI live chat widget directly into your website. And here's what these do. These AI live chats pop up on your website and it's not one of those generic leave us a message, we'll get back to you. This is a full-time assistant that knows your business, knows the services you offer, it knows your service area, your rough pricing, your process, your timeline, everything. It even walks them through and gets them to a booked estimate. Any hour, any time, day or night. And here's the thing that blew my mind when I first implemented this. People actually prefer it. A homeowner who isn't ready to talk on the phone yet, who's still in the research phase, will absolutely chat with an AI at 10 o'clock at night. They'll ask their questions, they'll get the answers, and by the time they wake up next morning, the AI has already captured their name, their number, their email, and exactly what they're looking for. And on top of that, it gets delivered to you cleanly. You wake up, you've got a warm lead sitting in your inbox. A lead who already got their questions answered. A lead who already is 70% sold before you even pick up the phone. Think about what this means for the customer experience. They land on your website, they tap a button, and instead of waiting on hold or being sent to a voicemail, they're immediately talking to an assistant that can help them. On the Saturday, on Christmas Eve, at 6 in the morning, anytime. And here's the business benefit that most people miss entirely. And this is the important part that ties directly into step 5. Because now you have an AI assistant operating 24/7 on your website. You can legitimately put open 24/7 on your Google business profile. I want to say that again because that's super important. You can now set your Google business profile hours to 24/7 because your AI is actually available 24/7 to answer questions, capture leads, and handle basic customer service. You're not lying, you're not misrepresenting, you are genuinely available around the clock through the AI. And here's why that matters from a marketing standpoint. When someone searches for a contractor on Google Maps and they see 3 businesses and 2 that are closed and one that's open 24/7, which one do you think they click? Every time it's going to be the one that's open 24/7. It's a massive trust signal. It makes you look bigger, more professional, more established than your competitors, even if you're a one-man operation with a truck and a skid steer. That's the power of AI baked into your website. It's not just convenience, it's a competitive weapon. Now, once you've got the AI layer running and your Google profile is dialed in, You layer on the final piece. And this is the part that takes everything from getting some traffic to owning your market. Here's where the contractor growth engine really turns into a full-scale growth engine. Everything we built so far, the optimized foundation, the multi-layer call to actions, the AI, all of that drives organic results over time. And organic is incredible because it compounds. The longer your site is optimized and ranking, the more traffic it gets, the more leads it produces for free. That's the long game. But here's the thing about SEO. It takes time. Depending on your competition, ranking organically can take anywhere from 60 days to 6 months to see significant results. And if you need leads now, you can't just wait. So what do? We pair the organic strategy with paid traffic. Here's 2 mistakes contractors make when running meta ads. Mistake number 1 is running the ads on their phone because it increases the cost due to fees. Then they have letting Meta auto optimize everything. You end up getting low quality leads that don't turn into real jobs, wasting money on ads without knowing what's actually working, dealing with inconsistent results month to month, and feeling stressed trying to figure out why your ads aren't converting. Here's the right way to run paid traffic. You must turn off your meta enhancements and control your ad setup manually. Run 2 offer-based ads, 2 tour-based ads, or problem-based ads. Target 80% of the budget to higher income zip codes. Use 20% broad to find new opportunities. Use instant follow-up systems to capture and respond to every lead. Looping all of this together builds an unbreakable ecosystem that does 80% of the client conversion. So the reason this works is because you run targeted ads to drive traffic to your profile and website. You then filter it and repel any homeowner who is price shopping or looking around. Then you move to the estimate and close and reviews and referrals. That's exactly how this works. This is the whole system that loops together. Once this system is running and inbound leads start coming in, the next challenge becomes speed because now you're getting leads from your website, from Google, from the AI. So this is exactly why your website is leaving thousands of dollars on the table and what you can do to have this fixed. Remember that once the leads start coming in, if you're not responding fast, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. In the next video, I'll go over more problems that contractors face and what they can do to start fixing them. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and follow the new Instagram.